Good afternoon, bonsoir à tout le monde. Les Étrusques constituent un chapitre de l'histoire pas très connu et pourtant ils ont vécu et fleuri pendant plusieurs siècles dans la péninsule italienne. The Etruscans are a people whose history is not so well known, but they have been in the Italian peninsula through many centuries. D'autres mystères, c'est que on n'a pas réussi à décrypter les écritures. On sait qu'ils ont été influencés, ils ont travaillé avec les Grecs et Romains. Petit à petit, les Romains les ont écrasés. Et vous aurez d'autres agréables surprises pendant ce séminaire. Et j'anticipe une. Le professeur Anzellotti va vous montrer des fresques où les femmes participent au symposium en même temps que les hommes, quelque chose qui n'existait pas dans d'autres civilisations anciennes. We will have more surprises about this civilization, which is not so well known, including one of them that women had really equal rights, even more than that what we saw with in our seminars about ancient Egypt. Et Madame le professeur Dr Angellotti est une fidèle de nos séminaires depuis les débuts et d'une manière continue, et je voulais la remercier. Professor Angelotti is always present in our seminars from the very beginning and till now, and I would like to thank her. She has a doctorate PhD in cultural heritage, theater and dance, the University of Tuzia, Paris 8, with research on memory and matter of dance, conservative problems of an intangible cultural heritage. Et le professeur Anzellotti un doctorat en patrimoine culturel, théâtre et danse de l'Université de la Tuzia et Paris 8, avec une recherche sur mémoire et matière de la danse, problèmes conservatifs d'un patrimoine culturel immatériel. Her projects explore modes of archiving the intangible cultural heritage, the problem of memory and identity, the reenactment and the ancient dance. Ces projets explorent les modes d'archivage d'un patrimoine culturel immatériel, les problèmes de la mémoire et de l'identité, la reconstitution et la danse ancienne. In other words, she's one of the most precious persons in our work, not only in the ancient civilization of the Etrusques, but on our work to safeguard the sacred dances of humanity, how to do, what to put in action. It's not the last time you see Professor Angelotti. Je voulais dire que ces centres d'intérêt concernant la sauvegarde du patrimoine culturel immatériel, c'est très important, ça tombe exactement à toutes nos préoccupations, surtout sur la sauvegarde du patrimoine culturel immatériel des danses sacrées, qui sont des milliers. Donc, comme je dirais, j'espère que ce n'est pas la dernière fois que vous verrez Madame Ancelotti. She is also independent researcher from 2015. She has numerous publications, and among these also the book La Danza dell'antichità, Etrusci, Greci e Romani, and participation in international conferences. Elle est recherche indépendante depuis 2015. Elle a publié de nombreuses publications, dont le livre, j'essaie de le traduire, La danse de l'Antiquité, les Étrusques, les Grecs et les Romains. Elle a participé à des conférences internationales. Donc, elle est auteure d'un livre dont elle va nous présenter les grands principes. Mais ça s'arrête pas là. Hein. She's not just only this. She's artist researcher and dance scholar with background as a historian of art, dance performer and choreographer of what? Flamenco, belly dance, Italian folk dance, ancient dance. Et elle est depuis 2015, pardon, elle est aussi artiste chercheuse en danse avec une formation d'historienne d'art. Elle danse et elle chorégraphie dans beaucoup de types de danse, dont le flamenco, la danse orientale, la danse folklorique italienne, la danse ancienne. She participated at European Music Archaeologist projects and at reenactment in many European countries with the group Ludi Seniki. Elle a participé au projet européen de musique archéologique, excuse me if I translate not exactly, et à des reconstitutions dans de nombreux pays européens avec les groupes Ludicenici. C'est des Geseniques, Ludicenici.
Scaenici, the ancient
Les-
pronunciation. Yeah.
Et vous aurez un exemple de tentative de ça concernant une danse étrusque. And you will have an example of this work concerning Etruscan dance. She also taught Danse dance in Efterp Summer School in 2023 in Tarquinia, and actually she's choreographer in the museum project in Matera. Elle a enseigné la danse ancienne à l'école d'été Efterp 2023 dans la ville de Tarquinia et elle est actuellement chorégraphe dans le projet Museum dans la ville, je suppose, de Matera. Et just a question, Elisa, you are also teaching, actually. Don't
Yeah.
have this in your biography. Elle est toujours, elle enseigne, elle va nous en parler. Et professeur Anzellotti va présenter c'est ce qu'elle a à nous dire sous forme de PowerPoint et qu'elle commenterait en français, en anglais et en français. She's going to present her work in a PowerPoint form and she will comment it in English and French. So, once again, I would like to thank her. Alors, de nouveau, je voulais la remercier. Et je voulais aussi remercier, même si on ne la voit pas parce qu'elle nous honore de sa présence pour un peu, mais elle est en plein travaux, Madame Asia Gemra. I would like also to thank Mrs. Asia Gemra, who is with us. At the same time, she has many things to do. Asia Gemra is a pillar of the program Danse and Spirituality. Madame Gemra est un pilier du programme Danse et Spiritualité et on lui doit, entre autres, les belles affiches de la plupart de nos séminaires. Enfin, quand vous voyez une affiche qui est techniquement belle et raffinée, c'est pour l'instant, pour attendant, c'est Madame Gemra. Voilà. Et je présentais aussi au moins deux personnes qui nous ont suivis depuis le départ. C'est Madame Manal Cherki du Maroc, qui est ambassadrice de paix et qui s'intéresse à beaucoup de choses, y compris au recensement des danses sacrées. She's ambassador of peace, and she is interested in many points, including our program of collection of sacred dances. Et Madame Sylvie Lagache, qui a présenté un des séminaires sur Danse et chrétienté et qui continue à travailler avec ces groupes, qui est pour l'instant le premier groupe qui se dégage de Danse et spiritualité. Mrs. Sylvie Lagache has also presented a seminar on Danse and Christianity, and she is and I hope this group is the first one, but not the last. We are thinking of creating other groups, and I hope to keep you in mind. The next seminar you will have is on May 18. It's about the quotes about dance in the Bible. Practically in the Ancient Testament, but you can find also some very, very little in the New one. Le prochain séminaire sera en 18 mai sur les références de la danse à la Bible chrétienne, surtout l'Ancien Testament. Ça sera présenté par notre membre très actif, le pasteur Virginie Infa, qui est une femme exceptionnelle. Et this will be presented by our member Virginie Infa, who is a minister of a Protestant minister concerned with dance. And theoretically, it puts a base to clear the fact that in the Ancient Testament, dance has not this place it had during the history in the Christian religion. C'est juste un début déjà pour démontrer que dans l'Ancien Testament, la danse n'a pas cette place très ambiguë qui évolue bizarrement dans le temps qu'il a dans la religion chrétienne actuelle. Thank you very, very much. Grazie mille, carissima Elisa. It's up to you now.
Grazie, merci, thank you. And I share my screen for my presentation. And I'm very honored to stay here with us and do this conference on a part of my PhD research. But like you said, my PhD research is on dance like intangible cultural heritage. This work on ancient dance born also from my position like a dancer, like a choreographer, from the collaboration with the group Ludi Skaeniki during the project HIMAP. And today I want to put the attention on the Etruscan dance. And I do just a little preface, an introduction on this culture. This culture, these people stay in Italy, especially in the middle of Italy, from the 9th century to the 3rd century. And the first period is also known like Villanoviano period, from the city Villanova near Bologna, 9th century, 10th century. And after the most important period, the golden era of the Etruscan is the 5th, 6th century. And in this moment, the part most important for the Etruscan are the center, the middle of Italy, today Toscana, Umbria, Lazio. And here you can see in this photo 12 cities, the Dodecapolis, the most important city for the Etruscan. A part of this area today is named Tuscia, because it's the name with which the Romans called the Etruscan, is a geographical area. And among this city, I want to underline the city of Tarquinia for two reasons. First, for the legend of Tagete. Tagete was like a god that born from the earth, and but with a knowledge of an ancient person, because he's a baby, born like a baby, but with a knowledge of an old people. And he said the book Tagetici, so the book for the divination art, to the Etruscan. We know this book only from the Latin source. We know that are 3 books inside this Tagetics book. One book is the Auruspix book, so the art to understand the future, read the fly of the bird, and also reading the interior of the animal, especially the liver. Another book is on the interpretation of the signs from the sky. So it's a way to communicate with God. And the other reason, because Tarquinia is very, very important, is for the necropoli Monterozzi, because here we have many Etruscan painting tombs, and almost all the tombs are a representation of music and dance. So it's one of the most important iconographical tools. Like you can see in this picture, this little house is the enter of the tomb. But today you cannot enter into the tomb. You can see the tomb only from a door with a glass. So to study this tomb, it's very important read also some book. This is a list of tomb. So we can see many tomb. Many of these tombs have a representation of music and dance, and many of these are the period between 5-6 century before Christ. This is the book very important to study the painting, Etruscan painting, of the professor Stefan Steingraber. One of the book is the painting, Etruscan painting. The other is the frescoes painting, Etruscan painting, because are frescoes. So it's very important also the kind of the stone is a limestone. It's a stone that it's wet, so it's important for the frescoes. And important are also the watercolors or drawn that we have in some collection. For example, here it's a Swedish Institute of Classical Studies in Rome. It's a collection of watercolors, are very, very important because many tombs have a problem of preservation. And also some tombs today are completely destroyed. So this is a document fundamental to study the Etruscan tomb. You can see other example. This is a Querciola tombs, and this is one of the tombs that today don't exist. So it's important this drawing. For me, is one of the most beauty tomb. Is named Citaredo Guitarist tomb, and probably the painting was a Greek painter or an Etruscan painter, but with a formation of a Greek painter. And I want just show another slide, and after I do a little translate in French. You can see, like said Constantine, the man and female dance together. The woman have the same rights of the man, and the woman have a big attention her beauty, for the dress, for the makeup. It's very important. But you can see, isn't a chain dance, isn't a circular dance, is a dance very geometrical, and there are a very big attention on the position of the hands. And I speak about of chironomy, but not the chironomy in music theory. So chironomy like a science for the musicians, but chironomy like today are the mudra. So a way to speak with the hand, because in the frescoes, we have a big attention in the realization of the hands. And are very particular, the position of the fingers. So I do just a little translate in French. Alors, la population étrusque sont dans le centre de l'Italie dans le 9e siècle à le 3e siècle. Les premières périodes, c'est le Villanoviano, parce que nous avons une cité très près de Bologna, et nous sommes dans le 9e siècle. Mais les périodes les plus importantes par les Étrusques, c'est les 5 siècles. Et ici, vous pouvez voir les 12 cités les plus importantes des Étrusques. Entre ces cités, je voudrais souligner l'importance de Tarquinia pour la légende de Tagete, que c'est un dieu, un enfant qui naît dans la terre, mais avec la sagesse d'une personne ancienne. Et l'autre raison parce que Tarquinia, c'est très important, c'est parce que ici, nous avons une nécropole très importante qui s'appelle Monterozzi, où nous avons beaucoup de tombes, mais la plupart de ces tombes, nous avons la représentation des musiques et des danses. Dans les petites maisons, c'est les entrées de la tombe, mais aujourd'hui, je ne peux pas entrer dans la tombe. Je peux voir seulement à glace, à verre. Et pour étudier ces tombes, c'est très important, c'est des livres de le professeur Stephen Steingraber, mais aussi c'est très important les aquarelles et les dessins de la fin de 1800, les principes de 1900, parce que donnez-nous un état de préservation de la tombe, mais aussi c'est un témoignage de quelques tombes qu'aujourd'hui il n'y a pas plus, parce que c'est détruit. Et c'est un exemple d'une tombe qu'aujourd'hui il n'y a pas plus, c'est la tombe de Citaredo. Et par les étudiants, cette tombe s'est peinte par un grec ou un étrusque, mais avec une formation grecque. Je voudrais souligner quelque chose sur la danse. Vous pouvez voir la femme qui va danser avec les hommes, et la femme est un peu plus claire que les hommes. Et la danse, c'est une danse géométrique, séparée. Il n'y a pas de danse circulaire et il n'y a pas de danse en chaîne. Et il y a très important dans la position de la main, parce que je pense que c'est quelque chose pour parler, pour dire une histoire. Il n'y a pas à chironomie pour signaler quelque chose à les musiciens, mais pour parler, pour faire une histoire. Vous pouvez voir aussi la femme peut jouer les aulos. Cet instrument s'appelle aussi tibia pour les Romains. Probablement dans le monde étrusque, il s'appelle sublum. So, l'aulos, c'est la même chose que les tibia, que c'est la même chose que les sublum. Et c'est l'instrument le plus important dans le monde étrusque. Nous avons aussi autres tombes, non seulement en Tarquinia. Nous avons des tombes étrusques aussi en Toscane, en Chiusi, mais nous pouvons voir quelque chose de très similaire dans la robe. Et aussi dans la robe, dans le vêtement, nous pouvons comprendre la typologie de la danse. Dans la tombe del gallo, des coqs, nous pouvons voir la danseuse avec la jupe qui va tourner. So, je peux comprendre que c'est une danse avec beaucoup de tournements. Et il y a aussi les crotalistes in English. You can see also different painting tomb, not only in Tarquinia, but also in other cities like Chiusi in Toscana. And here you can see the dancer with a dress very similar to other Etruscan tomb. Also from the dress, we can understand something for the dance. For example, in the Tomba del Gallo, the skirt have a movement. So I can understand from this image that the dancer turn very fast, and the dancer play the crotalus. And in this picture, this is the lioness tomb. According to me, there are two different dances. To the left, we have a woman that have a very important dress. She have the calcei repandi, these particular shoes. She have a mantle and hat, and a position very strange of the hand. Probably this is a sacred dance, a dance slowly, because like a dancer, I can say that with this kind of dress, it's very difficult to do a dance frenetic. A difference to the couple of the other side, where there are a man and a woman that dance, but dance something of different, something like an orgiastic dance, a Bacchic dance, but it is a dance with many jumps. I can understand this from the position of the legs and the position of the arms, and also from the dress. Probably the dancer have the crotalus, but not every scholar are of the same opinion. According to me, have the crotalus, but today disappear. And this is a dance that today was often named komos, because we don't know very well the ancient dance. So when you can see a dance in a context of a banquet, speak about of komos. But according to me, isn't so exactly speak only a komos, because exists many different dance. But we haven't the name of the Etruscan dance, because the writing sources are so limited. We know something from the Latin source. And you can see here, also here, the aulos player and the guitarist player. And probably the guitarist made the music for the dancer on the left, so a dance more slowly, and the aulos player, the music for the dancer on the right. And this is another tomb, the tomb of players. And in the middle, we have the dancer with this skirt, particular skirt that give the idea of a turn, the aulos player, and also on the left, a man with a particular position of the arms and the hand. This is the position of divination. When you see these figures, is a figure of something that read the future. After we can see another tombs with this position. And on the wall, the lateral wall on the right, you can see a dancer that after I want to analyze for the position of the legs. And the dance is present in every moment of life. Also, in the funerary context, we have information especially for the funerary context, but in the Etruscan tomb, we have a representation of a banquet. So we don't know if there are a representation of what happened when there are a funerary, or what hope to find in the other life. But sometimes we have also representation of dance of sadness, so the lamentation, la lamentatio, typical of the Mediterranean area. So in this sculpture, in the Cippi Chiusini, funerary stone of Chiusi, you can see also the particular gestures of lamentation. And also here are underlined the position of the hands. Probably when the palm is in this position is to call the god of the sky. In the other position is to call the god of the heart. And I just do a little translate in French. Alors, vous pouvez voir ici des différents danses. Dans la gauche, il y a une danseuse avec une robe très beau et très importante. Les chaussures s'appellent calce e ripandi, les manteaux et les chapeaux. Avec ces robes, c'est très difficile, et je parlais comme danseuse, c'est très difficile de faire une danse très vite. C'est probablement une danse plus loin et rituel. Mais de l'autre côté, nous avons un couple qui danse quelque chose de plus vite, probablement avec son saut. Et la danseuse probablement va jouer les crotali. Dans cette tombe, la tombe des giocolieri, il s'appelle en italien, la danseuse dans le centre tenait sur la tête un chandelier. Il s'appelle un chandelier. Et après de la danseuse, nous avons un musicien et nous avons aussi un homme qui veut faire la divination, veut avoir le futur. Et aussi, nous avons les cippi chiusini avec la représentation en danse des lamentations, des tristesses, mais avec une très grande attention sur la position de la main et de les palmes de la main, parce qu'il parle avec la divinité des cieux ou la divinité de la terre. Ici, il y a une représentation de lamentation, lamentation. Et aussi la même position que nous pouvons trouver dans toutes les aires de la Méditerranée. Mais une chose très particulière, dans la Mediterranean area, nous avons beaucoup de tambourines. In the Etruscan culture, we haven't an evidence of the tambourine. We have the aulos, we have the chitarist, the lyra, the crotalis, but we haven't the tambourine. So it's very strange. But something changed during the 4th century. Is the period when arrived the Romans, so the domination of Roman, and the dance and the music disappear. In the tomb, in the Etruscan tomb, disappeared the dance and appeared the devil or some god linked to the beast. For example, this tomba dell'orco, we have Carunt with this skin, blue skin, and also the tomba degli Anina with representation on Velk and Karun. The style also of the painting is very different. It's like a comics, this god. And it's something linked to a different way to feel the life, a different way to see also the other life. And the link also with the Greek culture is very present in the Etruscan culture. And this is an example of another tomb, not in Tarquinia, but in Vulci. Today isn't in Vulci because this tomb, this fresco was detached from the wall and now is the property of family Torlonia, so stay in Rome. And it's important because represented the war of Troy. So it's important because the Etruscan give a metaphor of the relationship between Etruscan and Roman is the same relationship between the Troy and Greek. And here we have Achille that kill a slave. And to the side of Achille, we have true God of the other life. So it's very interesting, this use of the mythology or of the history of Greek culture to send a message also for our culture. Just I do a little translate. So, alors, dans les 4 siècles, 3e siècle, nous avons un changement dans la peinture. Et nous pouvons voir que la danse et la musique, il n'y a pas plus. Et nous avons ces figures des moines. Et nous avons une autre conception de la vie après la mort. Et nous avons aussi à tombe qu'il n'y a pas in Tarquinia, c'est in Vulci, mais aujourd'hui il n'y a pas in Vulci parce que les fresques c'est de la famiglia Torlonia family, and aujourd'hui il était en Rome. Et c'est très important parce que nous avons la représentation de la guerre de Troie. Et nous pouvons voir Achille qui tenait à slave. Et ici, c'est une métaphore de la question de la bataille entre les Romains et les Étrusques. C'est une métaphore de la même chose, de les Romains et des Étrusques, c'est la même chose que les Troyens et les Grecs. Pour la question de la connexion avec la culture grecque, nous avons beaucoup de ways. Ici, vous pouvez voir Achillix, que c'est en Tarquinia, dans les musées archéologiques de Tarquinia, mais c'est produit en Grèce. Et nous avons une danse circulaire, so a Greek dance. C'est une danse grecque. This is Achillix today in the Museum of Tarquinia. In the middle, we have the history of Tridon. And we have a representation of a dance, but isn't a Etruscan dance, it's a Greek dance. But we know the relationship with the Greek word is very strong, and many of the ways was product from the Greece for the Etruscan people. And in another very important vase, the François vase of 6th century, we can see another circular dance very important, the Geranos. This vase is very important also because it's signed by the artist. This is a dance, a ritualistic dance, and is linked to the myth of Theseus and Ariadne, and linked to the questions of the labyrinth. And it was found in Chiusi, this vase. But it's interesting, this aspect of the labyrinth, to speak about of this other vase, the Oinokoe Tragliatella of the 8th century. And you can see here a labyrinth, a very particular labyrinth, because this kind of labyrinth we can find in many other cultures. And probably also in this vase is represented the history of Ariadne and Teseo, so a ritual passage. And probably there are an armed dance. In the side we can see the boar. It is a symbol of strong. But the aspect, the most important aspect, is the word Truia that you can see into the labyrinth, and is right in Etruscan character, and is right from the right to the left, because the Etruscan writing is from the right to the left. The word Truia probably is linked to the war of Troia, but For some scholars, exists another theory that Troia isn't the city of Troia, but it's a verbs, truare, and the translate of these verbs is tarn. So is linked in a particular dance, a labyrinthic dance, a ritualistic dance, where the first man of the circle do a turn, and the other people do another turn. So we have truare and redampruare in the Latin translate. And this aspect of the armed dance you can see also in the Secchiello Plicasna. Many scholars say that isn't a dance, but according to me is a dance. I don't speak of Pyrrhic dance because for Giovannangelo Camporeale, one of the most important scholars for the armed dance, speak about of armed dance, not Pyrrhic, is something of different. And also here we have a ritualistic passage and something linked to the strong of the man also for the boar. I just to do a little translate. Alors, dans les vases François, nous pouvons voir à Danse lié à les mythes of Ariadne et Thésée, à les labyrinthes et la question des minotaures, mais nous pouvons trouver la même chose des labyrinthes en cette vase, l'Oinoco et Tragliatella. Cet labyrinthe, c'est très intéressant parce que nous avons beaucoup de labyrinthes de la même façon. Mais la chose la plus importante, que dans les labyrinthes, nous trouvons un mot. Ce mot, c'est Troia, écrit en étrusque. Les Étrusques écrivaient de la droite à la gauche. Et pour quelques personnes, Troia, c'est la cité de Troia. C'est lié à la question de la guerre de Troie. Mais pour quelques autres personnes, il dit que ce mot, Troia, c'est le verbe truare, que je peux translater comme tourner. Et nous avons aussi un autre mot que c'est redempruare, que c'est faire un autre tournée. Et c'est à danse probablement des passages, danse ritualistique, danse. Et à danse avec des hommes armés, comme nous pouvons trouver dans les Secchiello Plicasna, vous pouvez trouver un armed dance, mais je parlais de armed dance et non des Pyrrhic dance, parce que Giovannangelo Camporeale, qui c'est les plus importantes personnes qui étudiaient la danse armée étrusque, il dit que c'est plus correct parler de danse armée. Pour la danse étrusque, nous n'avons pas beaucoup d'études. Les premières études, c'est de 1956 de Mary Johnston. Et après de cette étude, nous n'avons pas beaucoup d'informations, d'études sur la question de la danse. Dans les dernières années, nous avons quelques études d'Audrey Guy. Elle s'est concentrée sur la question aussi de la robe, des vêtements, et l'étude que j'ai faite pour mon travail de danseuse. Alors, this is the tomba degli auguri. Like I said before, this position of the hands and of the arms is the typical position of this priest, of this person that can read the future. And these two persons are at the side of this particular door, is the door for the afterlife. And these brightest are the aruspics, and he read also the inside of the animals, especially of the liver. In fact, we have a very important evidence in the liver of Piacenza. Here in the liver are the god linked to each part of the liver. So it's like a book, this liver. And this art, divination art, pass also in the Roman culture. The Romans are very interested to the Etruscan art of divination. And it's interesting also the position of other bronzes, because probably is a dance, but is also a gesture linked to the art of divination. And it's interesting also see the parallelism with other culture, the Minoan culture, for example, of the 9th century before Christ. So sometimes we can find the same position in different culture, in different period. But I want to underline that the gestures remain the same for many centuries. Is like a universal languages. The speech, the right change also fast, but the languages with the body, with the gestures, remain the same, change less. In fact, we can find the same gestures in different culture, in different period. And like I said in the first slide, this is the door of the afterlife. Another way to see the passage, the afterlife, is with the diver. And you can see different tomb. The first is the tomb of the hunter and fishing in Tarquinia. The other is very famous, is the tombs of the diver in Paestum. And this represented the passage to other life. In fact, often we can find in the Etruscan tomb also the dolphin and the sea. So it's a concept of the life, very interesting. It's a concept also positive, of a joy. But like I say, change in the 3rd century when arrived the Roman domination. Here we can see also another important source to study the Etruscan dance, because like I said, we haven't right source. And this is candelabrum. And also here we can see something that you can see in the tomb, like this jump with the arms height, and also like in the dancer with this dress that give an idea of movement and of turn. And it's interesting that the scholar that study the Etruscan dance do a parallelism with Oriental dance, not with other, with the Greek dance, for example, but with Oriental dance, China dance, Japanese dance, Thailand dance. Werner Keller said that the most similar dance of the Etruscan dance is the Thailand dance. It's very strange, this aspect, but it's very interesting. And in the Mediterranean area, the aspect more similar to the Etruscan dance is the Egyptian dance. Here we can see the same position, a similar position of the legs, of the arms, and it's something more near to the Etruscan. The Etruscan have many relationships also with Egypt. We have many sphinx, scarabei, and vase with Egyptian image. So the Etruscan have a big relationship with all the Mediterranean area, with the Greek world, with the Egyptian world, also with the Sardinia. Probably in Sardinia was find some evidence of the Etruscan. And in fact, the sea, the Mediterranean Sea, the sea in front of Lazio and in Toscana is also named Tirreno, because Tirreni is the name of the Etruscan. The Etruscan was also named Tyrrhenos. So the name of the sea is the name of these people, of this culture. And like I say, I think that exists many different dances. It's important to study for these reasons. And you can see, like I said, man and female, that dance, probably this dance of joy, also a dance that's stayed an history, and also orgiastic dance, like I say, for the lioness tomb. And also in different tomb, we can find the same position. So probably don't exist a choreography, but exists some step typical of a particular music that return in different representation of dance. Like this one with these legs and arms in the same position, and also with a dress very similar. And okay, just no, I do just a little translate. And alors, pour étudier la danse, c'est très important aussi les bronzes, les sculptures, et nous pouvons voir les mêmes positions que nous avons voir dans les tombes. Et aussi, je peux voir les sautes et les ternes de la danseuse. Et c'est très bizarre que le parallélisme de la danse étrusque, c'est pour la plupart avec la danse orientale, mais orientale, la chinoise, japonaise, thaïlandaise. C'est très, très bizarre, mais c'est très intéressant, cet aspect. Et dans les Méditerranées, la plus voisine à les Étrusques, c'est la danse égyptienne, parce que nous avons la même position de la jambe, de les bras, et aussi la géométrie. Mais nous savons que les Étrusques avaient beaucoup de relations avec les Égyptiens, mais avec toute la Méditerranée, parce qu'ils avaient navigué beaucoup. En fait, les mers, les Méditerranéennes, les mers avant les Lazio, Toscana, s'appellent Tirreno parce que Tirreno, c'est un autre nom des Étrusques. Les Étrusques sont connus aussi comme les Tirreno. Un autre nom, c'est Rasna. Nous avons beaucoup de noms et beaucoup de problèmes pour la question étrusque. Un autre problème, c'est les Étrusques étaient en Italie ou arrivaient dans notre part de la Méditerranée. Nous savons d'Hérodote qu'il arrive probablement dans la Lydia. Mais quelques autres idées, c'est qu'il arrive dans le nord d'Italie. Une autre idée, c'est que sont en population de l'Italie. Mais Massimo Pallottino, qui il est le plus important professeur d'étruscologie, dit qu'il n'est pas important de savoir de quelle part arrive, mais comment s'est formée cette population. C'est une autre question. Comme je dis, nous pouvons voir différentes typologies de danse, aussi dans la même tombe, dans la même mur, nous pouvons voir des différentes danses et nous pouvons voir les mêmes positions. Alors, je peux dire qu'il existe une danse liée à la typologie de musique avec un passe très important qui fait voir immédiatement la typologie de danse dansée. Alors, c'est important aussi, une autre chose à curiosité. Pour ces tombes, c'est très important les dessins et les aquarelles parce que elles attaquaient in Italie c'est dit tombarolo, is the grave robber, the relic hunter, because il veut apprendre à part des frescos. Et aujourd'hui, nous avons pas. Nous avons aujourd'hui en restauration parce que nous avons les watercolor, les aquarelles. Et nous voyons que remet en Italie de cette tombe. Mais aujourd'hui, elle était en restauration, à préservation et réintégrer les parties que il robe. Et nous pouvons voir cette danseuse qu'il n'y a pas visible. Et aujourd'hui, avec un travail de restauration, apparaît cette danseuse très, très intéressant avec quelque chose dans la main. Probablement, je ne sais pas, les étudiants disent beaucoup de choses sur ces objets dans les mains. Et c'est une autre typologie de danse. Alors, je vais dire en anglais. Alors, the watercolor, it's important for the Etruscan tombs, also for another reasons, because exist figures of Tombarolo, the relic hunter, the grave robber, that's cut the wall with a chainsaw and cut the most beautiful part of the painting, like you can see here in the circle, cut the part of the dancer to make money and to sell and make money. And today, thanks to the watercolor, it's possible a restoration of this part, like this part of the dog. And you can do a restoration of everyday the painting, but a part of this tomb is saved because there are a layer of limestone on a dancer, this dancer, that's today, after the restoration, was polished and appeared this dancer with particular position of the arms and the hand, and with this object in the other hand, somebody say an eggs. Often in the Etruscan tomb we can find eggs like a symbol of life, of rebirth. Probably here is something of different, I don't know. But this is a typical position, a typical play that exists in the Etruscan culture. And okay, like I say, we haven't too much study on the Etruscan dance. This is the most important only for the dance, because for the Etruscan generally we have many other book, for example, Massimo Pallottino, Cristofori, and many others. This is only for the dance. And the study on the dance is less and often linked to the music. And I do this book, but in this book I speak about of Etruscan, Greek, and Roman. And this work born from the work like a dancer, like a choreographer. So is my way to recreate the ancient dance, also thanks the dance that I know, the folk dance. Today exists some theory that's probably the tarantella, the Italian dance, have some in common with the ancient dance. But from a scientific point of view, is impossible to say this, because we haven't the source, the right source. We haven't the evidence of this passage from the past to today. But probably something remain also in the dance of today. And when I create a choreography, I inspire from the tarantella or flamenco or belly dance, oriental dance, and I read in every movement something that's remain like an archaeological way. And this is an element of the contemporary art, because today in Tarquinia there are these murale created by the painter Guido Sileoni. I do also some performance with Guido, and he inspired from the Etruscan, but he recreate with his style, and he put the most important element of the Etruscan culture. For example, in the photo, the height photo where there are Guido, there are the figures of Persu. It's right, Persu, P-H Ersu, and Fersu is one of the less word that's derived from Etruscan languages, because the Italian language is derived from the Latin, from the Greek, but we have less word, and between this word we have the word persona from persu, fersu, and the translate is maschera. So the word persona, people, derived from a mask. And so here we can open a debate on the also Pirandello theory of the mask of the people. And okay, just I finish. I want to share the video, Constantine, if you want, or we can do the questions after you can see the video.
If there is an important question, or else we can see the video and then start
And then
with the
question.
discussion.
Okay, okay.
Give me a moment, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Uma Narayanamurthy. Yeah, I just want to ask one question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the paper was really nice, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. So just want to know, you just explain the sculpture or the can I say it as a sculpture? I think it is a
I take this.
fourth or fifth. This one before the vase. You were explaining about the vase before that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I share the screen,
Yeah,
and I take this one, I think.
one of this. Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
So in India, actually, we have this kind of sculptures. They're sculpted in the temple, outside the temple premises. So is it a top one row, another row, something like that, or it is a different sculptures?
Excusez-moi, il y a un problème de connexion avec Dr. Anzellotti. Elle a été déconnectée, elle revient. En attendant, je voulais vous présenter Dr. Uma Ramayana Murthy, qui est aussi un des piliers du programme Danse et Spiritualité. There was a problem with the connection of Professor Anzellotti. She's coming back, and
I said,
I profit.
I'm right, but I don't know what
Okay.
happened, and I restart my PC, and now I stay with the phone.
Okay.
Okay.
So should I repeat the question again?
Yes, the question on the sculpture on the Cippus Chiusini. Yeah.
So that sculpture, is it a row that is below one row of sculpture, whether it is connected, the sculpture on the second row, something like that, or is it totally different? It's not related to each other. Any
No,
story, they are not related.
a different sculpture, yes, a different sculpture of the Chiusini area and of a context, a funerary context. So different dance of the same period, of the same area, but different dance. It's a way to show this one. I don't know why my PC is this, so I stay with my phone now. Okay.
Okay. And you said that on the paintings on the vase, the pictures were turned to left, right? Turned to right. The face is turned to right, and the foot is turned to right.
Yeah.
So, what is the significance? Actually, in our Indian puppetry, we also do the same thing. The faces will be turned to the side, and also the legs to the sides. So, is there any significance why it was painted
We
like that?
don't know if a significance, because we haven't the right source, so we don't know the significance, but probably exists, because also the attention in the representation of the head is very underlined, so probably exists. And I'm very curious to know the Indian dance to understand if there are a correlation.
So, because that has a spiritual, this one in India. So, turning to right or left, and the both legs are one behind the other, but they are turned to one side. So, I was very much curious because seeing the same thing in our paintings. So, do you find any relationship with Indian painting and that one? Anything? Have you come across anything relations related this one? No resource until now. You don't find any resource.
Yeah, see, we have the resource, but it's interesting to study this aspect. I want to study this aspect of the relationship.
Yeah, and it was really interesting. And yeah, and you managed so well with between two languages.
Yeah,
And it was really very good for us also, because it was very continuous, and we could understand very well. Thank you so much. And all the slides were very well done. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Constantine. Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Manal Serki wants to have a question. I don't know if Mrs. Niharika wants to speak also.
Yes, I also want to speak because I'm also Indian, so I really want to speak about the sculpture that she just asked. So we also have same sculptures in India in temples, and all are related to gods, like the god named Krishna and Shiva. All are related. The sculpture related to their stories, their values, their significance. So I just want to ask that there's a relation between the sculpture that was shown today in the presentation. I just want to ask this relation because we have some different significance in the sculptures in India.
Yeah. I want to know the significance in India because it's very interesting for me, this aspect. So
yes.
I have a relation with you, a contact. I'm very glad. I hope.
Je pense que le problème est toujours le même de la question de Madame Cassiap et de Docteur Murti. La signification, pourquoi le pied va comme ça, qu'est-ce que ça a à faire avec l'au-delà ou autre chose, et la difficulté pour l'instant de donner ça parce qu'on n'a pas les sources
Écrit.
adéquates. Et Madame Cherki du Maroc, voilà. Et j'ai désactivé. Il faut réactiver. Ah, c'est bon. Mais on vous entend mal.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, family. CID family. I'm really happy to meet you, all of us. And I'm really glad to see that everyone's here connected through dance and through art to bring peace and to bring love to each other and to show the humanity that art is something like really important, and the spirituality as well, and the communication and the connection between God and human and the universe always was something important. And my intervention today is just to support the speaking of the lady, the research, the doctor of lady. She's from India. So I've been in India. I'm from Morocco. I'm working for many years as a researcher to repertorier the spiritual ancient dance. So I'm traveling around Africa. 4 days ago, I was been in Cameroon, and I was especially in the royal kingdom of Bamun. So it's the culture. Their culture is ancient, more than 1,000 years, and I'm seeing the similitude between Elisa, what are you showing us? And with the connection with Africa, because even here in Morocco, we are really connected with what are you showing us? And even when I was in Cameroon, I saw the painting. And as a professional painter, I can say, and I can see the connection between the symbols and between the details. So when the lady of India said that there is a similitude, I've been in India also. I was invited by Ambani family, and in their house they have like an incredible collection of masterpiece art, very ancient. And I can see also the connection between the mantra, the hands, movement of hands. So you can feel, even if in the painting that you showed us, that there is the mantras. So something is missing. And I'm thinking as an artist and as a researcher that there is a connection between all of this. And that being there is somebody or someone who connects the people around the world in ancient time, and like languages, they develop each other a different way, but there is an origin. So we don't know where is the origin. Is it in Africa? Is it in Asia? From India? Who knows? In Europe? In Greece? We don't know. But we are really happy and lucky to know that in Greece we had some heavy informations, and yeah, we need to put the hand of each other and to maybe to connect with each other, and maybe to look after this theme, these points. I'm really sorry, my English is really bad.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I hope that you understood. My French is perfect, but my English is a little bit.
Thanks.
I'm
It's
happy to meet you, and thank you so much for all those really precious information. Really, thank you, and I'm feeling myself supported, and I want to let you know, all the family, that you are supported. We are supported. Everyone supports everyone. So if somebody need any information from the spiritual dance of Africa, I can have a connection with you. Just contact me, okay?
okay. Thank you. Grazie.
Ti prego, è bella.
Grazie.
Grazie mille.
Mais Elisa,
Sì.
vous voulez répondre ou on passe à la question suivante? Je vois que Madame Coquina qui a une question aussi.
Ah, question. Oui, l'autre question que je vais. Pour les questions tout ensemble.
Ok. Et Mariana, please.
Hello, thank you, Dr. Kondoyanis. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Anzellotti. This was very, very interesting. And I would like to ask about, I have two small questions. I want to inquire about something that you said. I believe at some point you said that when the Romans came, Etruscan dance disappeared and the devil appeared.
Yeah, because arrived the domination, and so for the Roman, the dance is a positive element. From the right source, we know that the person that dance or are crazy or drunk for the Roman. So the dance disappear or stay only for limited moment of life, but change also in the representation of the tomb. In the 3rd century, 4th and 3rd century, when the Etruscan king finish, we haven't the representation of dance, but the representation of devil. We have another concept of life and afterlife, but it's linked to the domination of Roman domination.
And that devil, who would that be? Would that be Pan, or which deity is that Roman devil that you connected to this?
It's the devil is a god linked to the death, and probably is god linked to the Greek culture because it's Caronte.
Ah, I see.
So it's like Caronte, but for this problem of the god, isn't so easy. Say Charon is the same of Caronte, and Bacchus is the same of Fufluns, because in the Etruscan culture there are some of different, similar but different. We can do is like Dionysus, but it's not the same. So also for Charon. It's like Caronte, it's like Charon for the Greek word, but isn't the same.
I see. And thank you for this answer. The other thing I wanted to ask, when you showed the picture of the labyrinth that had this word Troia,
Sì.
You mentioned some kind of ritualistic labyrinthic dance. And I was wondering, where is that labyrinthic dance from? Is there some kind of evidence that we know for certainly that a culture, for example, the Minoan culture had labyrinthic dance?
Yeah, it's probably is linked to also a play that is named the play of Troia, and it's a ritualistic play, but it's a play for a passage, a ritualistic passage, and probably is this one, but there are many different theories. The other theory is this dance, but we know only the translate of this word, truia, truare, and redemptruare, retruare, so turn and return, because the first of the line turn one time and the other turn 2 times. We know only this one, but probably is a dance linked a labyrinth and linked to a passage. The passage, especially for the men, no, from a boy to man.
I see. Thank you very much for your answers, and thank you for the presentation. This was very interesting.
Thank you.
Let's enjoy now the video, and then
Yeah.
we can have more questions.
Yeah. Bon.
Je ne sais pas comment ça s'est passé côté son. Ça a été?
Oui, oui. Alors, les vidéos, c'est avec les groupes Ludi Scenici, c'est les groupes de musiciens avec qui je travaille. Et ils sont à Ferento, qui c'est une petite localité très près de Viterbo. Et c'est un théâtre romain. Et en cette chorégraphie, je me suis inspirée à la danse traditionnelle italienne, surtout à la tammurriata, parce que la musique inspirait moi ce mouvement qui c'est comme la tarantella. Probablement, il y a une connexion, comme je dis, avec les passés, les danses du passé. Beaucoup de personnes disent que la danse aujourd'hui, surtout la tammurriata, c'est lié à le culte des Cibele ou de la divinité Vénus, Vénère, Cibele, Démétra. Mais nous n'avons pas les évidences de cette chose. Et la danse que j'ai créée, c'est une hypothèse de danse parce que nous n'avons pas écrit à danse. Et aussi, la musique, c'est créé par les musiciens. Nous avons beaucoup de fragments de musique originale, les inni d'Apollo, épitaphes. Nous avons beaucoup de parts de musique originale. Dans la musique originale, c'est très intéressant créer à danse parce que pour moi, comme danseuse, je peux dire que quelquefois, la danse, c'est écrit dans la musique. La musique veut à dire les passes. Je vais suggérer, il veut dire que je dois faire. Alors, je vais dire en anglais. The video is with the group of Ludis Kaenike, is a group of musicians of ancient music, Roman music, and the place is Ferento, is near Viterbo, is a Roman theater. And for the choreography, I inspired myself to the Italian folk dance, especially to the tammurriata, is a typical tarantella of the area Campana, Napoli. And the movement was created also thanks to the music. If we dance on original music, we have many fragments of original Greek music, for example, is different probably because according to me, the choreography is inside the music. The music gives us the step. Like said Michelangelo, the sculpture is inside the marble. So also for me is in this way the idea. This is only a dance created for a video during the period of pandemia and for a reenactment in Tarragona in Spain. And but now I work with Matera with a project very interesting to recreate the Magna Grecia in Matera. We use many original fragments of music, and I read many right sources to create something of near, I hope, to the ancient dance. So if we have some curiosity, questions.
Perhaps I have two questions for the historian. The first one, do we have other people who were important before the Romans were imposed their domination in Italy? Or the Etruscans are the most important one? We have heard about many people like the Sabines and so on. What about any other? La question c'est, est-ce qu'il y avait d'autres peuples qui ont influencé le cours de l'histoire, comme l'ont fait les Étrusques, et qu'on connaît moins ou que on ne s'occupe pas beaucoup, je pense aux Sabines, parce qu'on a les enlèvements des Sabines.
Oui, il y a beaucoup de peuples, les Sabines, les Latins, il y a beaucoup de peuples en Italie. Et pour cette raison, Massimo Pallottino, il dit que les problèmes, il n'y a pas de quelque part arriver les Étrusques, mais comme s'est formé ces peuples. Parce qu'en Italie, nous avons beaucoup de peuples, les Latins, les Sabins, beaucoup. Et je dois aussi souligner qu'avec les Romains, il y a une relation très forte avec les Étrusques. Les 7 rois de Rome, les derniers 3 sont Étrusques. Tarquinio Prisco, Servio Tullio et Tarquinio il Superbo. So, il y a une superposition entre la culture étrusque et romaine très forte. Et les Romains prennent beaucoup de choses très importantes des Étrusques, surtout l'art de la divination. Ils remènent dans le monde romain.
My second question is about the relationship with Troy. There is the legend of Aeneas, and who came from Troy to Italy or something like this. Does it is considered that's the first of some people? What about this legend? Il y a une légende qui approche la ville de Troyes avec l'Italie, c'est la légende d'Élénée, qui est venu avec son papa, je pense, sur les épaules, en Italie, et il est considéré comme le premier d'un groupe ethnique. Mais est-ce que tout ça a une relation avec les Étrusques?
Plus que les Étrusques avec les Romains, parce que les Romains, pour souligner en relation avec Énéas, il dit que Romolo Remo avait en relation avec Énéas. Énéas arrivait en Rome, à Lavigno, et il y a toute la question des filles, des mariages, mais la dérivation de Romolo Remo, c'est lié à la question d'Énéas, pour avoir quelque chose de divinité dans la légende de Romolo Remo. Et pour les Étrusques, nous n'avons pas s'il y a cette question liée à Énéas. C'est plus pour les Romains, la connexion.
Thank you very much. It's Mrs. Irene Neris has a question, and then Mrs. Narayana.
Thank you so much for this conference. First of all, it's incredibly inspiring. And I've been visiting a few years ago, actually many years ago when I was a child, some of the the graves of the Etruscans. And I still remember indeed the architecture, because it was incredibly impressive, built underneath a hill. And I remember a few of the remaining paintings that were still engraved on those graves. And my question now, watching the beautiful dance sample that you provided us, and through the slides that we've been watching through the conferences, is the relationship to the trance, à la trance, because the dance remind me very much of some of the still existing dervish rituals, in which indeed, and also curiously enough, to some of my latest readings about shamanic culture, in which le tambour, the tambour is very present, and of course, from an anthropology point of view, how the practice travel through many different countries, from Siberia to Northern America, Southern America. So these elements are present not just in Asia, but also, of course, in the Middle East and Mediterranean culture, and Africa as well. And I think, of course, there is like a very strong link due to the migrations and the travels, the exchanges. My question, to come back from my initial purpose, is to ask more details about, if you can share something about the trance, and which kind of trance actually was practiced, if you have any source about that in the ancient Etruscan time. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. For the Etruscan, we don't know if the dance arrived to the trance. We know exists the dance during the banquet, so orgiastic dance with the wine probably create a trance, but it's like the orgiastic dance. And in fact, we haven't the tambourine, for example. But we know that the music is very important. In fact, the music creates a trance, but a trance to do some action, also for the hunter. We know that's play for the hunter, for example. And for the Latin source is wonderful. Why play when do to the hunter? And play to catch the animals, like transport the animals. So it's very particular, this element. But for example, it's interesting also that today in the Italian folk dance, the dance free yourself. But for the dervishi, the dance and the trance is necessary to a connection with God. In the Italian dance, for example, the pizzica pizzica, the dance of the South Italy, the dance is necessary to free herself to a sort of devil. So it is a passage in other verse, is the contrary, is not to connect to God, but is to free from something of bad. So if exists a relationship with the past and the present, probably is a different way to understand the trance. But we know only of this trance for the animal and the relation of the music with the in the world. So it's for the music and not for the dance.
C'est okay, Irene? Is it okay for you?
Yes, I would love to add so many things, but I don't want to steal time to anybody else. But if I can just quote one of my references, because I think maybe all the participants would love to read this book, because it's the one that got me the inspiration about shamanism and all the rest. It's called Voyager dans l'invisible. I will write it on the group. And it, in fact, it underlines what Elisa just said. The ritual dances are practiced to connect most of the time to the animals that they're gonna hunt, because the role of shamanism is actually to connect to the nature in order for the community to sustain itself. And in this relationship, you stressed out about the Etruscan dances, and maybe some of the Southern Italian dances make me think of how the society maybe was organized and what was the priority. So instead of connecting to God, is like the community itself needs something, and the gods come from the nature. Because I'm not fond, I just throw my my reference there, and then we can continue. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Irene. With this occasion, I would like to announce, but not officially, that it is possible we'll have one or two seminars concerning shamanism on the large idea of it, not only the shamanism of Mongolia. There is a person, Mrs. Flo Cardinal, who is a shaman and who has about 30 years of experience, and with nations in America and with Mongolia. And I think she will treat the questions of ecstasies and shamanism, and what is going on with the shaman. Is he the connection with God, the connection with nature, the therapeutic, and so on. So maybe. And also to our friends, please see our first seminar at the beginning of 2021, I think, Asia, in which Asia participated, Manal Serki participated. It was about the ecstatic dances in North Africa. It was a seminar that lasted 5 hours, but you can have everything on it. Now I'm asking Dr. Ralayana a question.
Hi. That in your video, I observed that it is a 4-beat composition, right?
Yeah.
4-beat. Yeah. So do you follow any sequence for 4-beat, or have you tried for 3 beats, 5? So less or more than 4 beats, and what will be the sequence if you how will you follow the sequence in your choreography? What will be the sequence of movements in your choreography?
The sequence with 4-beat is the most easy, the most simple, but you use also sequence with 5-beat, 7, so this part number, but it's very interesting. It probably is more realistic, the sequence not of 4 beats, but of 5, 7, and more. And so in the original music, we have often this aspect to pass to the 7 to 5 and 5 plus 2. So a combination. It's more complex than today, probably.
Which will you more enjoy personally?
Yeah.
Which will you more enjoy? Which beat you enjoy more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because
so do you follow any sequence of movements? Just I want to ask, do you have a particular sequence of movement? So first is some standing and another one is just moving to your right side and a circle. Something you follow a sequence in your movement, dance choreography?
No, in my choreography, I create just a little part of choreography, and after I inspire myself from the music, I have only some point because probably don't exist the choreography in antiquity. So I have some step, some point important in the music, and I work on this switch of the time, a switch of the rhythm, and I work on this one.
Okay, so we'll like to know if you are trying any other things, then let us know. It is really interesting. Your choreography is really interesting. And yeah, we could feel we can connect with you, with the music and your choreography. It was really nice of you. It was really nice and interesting choreography.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The question of reenactment or reconstitution is a very important one, particularly for ancient dances. The precedent seminar was about medieval dancing, and the person, Dr. Catherine Ingracia, had the same problem. She had more sources, but she was not sure of how the dances were doing. Perhaps once we will have a seminar on this topic, because it's a very fascinating topic and a very controversial. Et la question de la reconstitution ou de reenactment est très intéressant. On avait un séminaire il y a 2 semaines sur la reconstitution des danses paraliturgiques médiévales. C'était fascinant. Mais il y a toujours cette incertitude, on ne sait pas. On sait jusqu'à un certain point et on met notre inspiration, nos rêves, etc. Le résultat est fascinant, mais ça amène aussi à des controverses. Et je me demandais si, à un moment, on pourrait faire un séminaire avec plusieurs personnes qui ont tenté cette expérience pour voir comment ils travaillent et où ça amène et quels sont les pour et les contre de cette façon de faire. Et d'autres questions? Donc, Cécile.
Yes. Does anyone know how far back we have a trace of dance in ancient Egypt? Because the civilization of ancient Egypt goes very far back. So it would be interesting to know if there are traces of these arm movements and these gestures in ancient Egypt, since they had very wonderful artists for their tombs, and they depicted their eras in the tombs. And they also were a civilization that traveled a lot for trade. And might it not be the ancient Egyptians who influenced dance in India, or is it the contrary? And influenced dance in the rest of the Mediterranean? It would be interesting to perhaps research the drawings and the paintings of the ancient Egyptians. I leave it to the historians. Thank you very much for all this marvelous work you have already done.
It's very difficult because the Egyptian culture is more ancient of the Etruscan. But probably this is probably an element very important also to understand from where arrived the Etruscan, because if the Etruscan arrived from the Lydia, from the Oriental, probably take something of the Oriental culture. It's a way, the dance, it's a way also to understand the origins of the Etruscan, according to me. Also to understand something of the dress, because also in the dress we have many elements that we know in the culture of Oriental. For the Egypt, we have many different dance, and the most similar element of the movement, but we don't know if are the same dance and there are a relationship. We don't know this one, but it's a suggestion that in the old Mediterranean area, the most similar is the Egyptian.
Yes.
So why? But for example, for the chironomy, there are some difference, because for the Egyptian, the chironomy is a gesture for the musicians, and the movement of the hand of the Etruscan is something of different, probably. So probably it's a melting pot of culture. It's more complex.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mrs. Jacqueline Waltz has formulated some questions. Perhaps she wants to ask them now.
Yeah, hello there. Yes, hi. Just unmute myself. Well, I put them in the chat if you read them, but I was just wondering about tonograph figures, if you've used, Isidore Duncan found them, use the tonograph figures, which I believe are Etruscan, and these kind of figures that you showed with the pointy thing, rather than from Greek vases. Actually, they were Etruscan, but she made them into a series of movements that you can do, slow movements that are to one side and then the other sequence. And the other question, I mean, well, you said already, Constantine, about there's no record of the actual music, but they're all reconstructions then from, yeah. Anyway, it's just sort of a vague question, not really formulated.
Yes, for the ancient music, yes, there are many reconstruction, but we have also the original element for the music. So it's very interesting to understand the concept of music in the antiquity. And there are many interpretations, if are more slowly or more fast, and the way to interpret this music, but often are in the context of a funerary context, or linked to a god, linked to also linked to create an history. Often, I think to the hymn to Apollo, the word of the singer is an history, is the history of the birth of Apollo. So for the dance, in this case, probably is a mimetic dance, is a dance where with the gesture create an history, the history of Apollo. So we have also this aspect to speak with the body, because in antiquity, music is the same. Music, dance, and poetry is the same. So music is the same of the dance. Dance and music is the same element. Today are separated, but it's only an art.
And were they telling a story?
Yeah.
Storytelling. Or was it, well, I'm sure there were different dances for different things, some which were more on a theme of spring or the seasons, and others which would tell a mythological story or something. More theater.
Yeah.
And I was interested in what any notation, or you say you have it from the music. I mean, you do have what you believe are as close to the original sound and where that comes from. Yeah, so then you can derive the steps, so to speak, from the music. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it's very important work with the musician, with the instrument, reconstruct very, very similar or the same instrument of that you can find in the museum. Listen, this sound is very interesting to recreate the dance. And the question of reenactment, it's important also for this, because with the reenactment, you can understand also the right source. For example, in the right source is right, the aulos player also dance. But if practice and play the aulos, some kind of dance is impossible to do when you play the aulos. Because the aulos needed a circular breath. So you cannot do a dance very fast and play in the same time. So if you practice in the element, you can understand better the right source.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Irene, you have one question?
Yes, I took some notes and I wanted to be sure that I took the right note. Is the egg symbol of rebirth? Did I understand?
Yeah.
And may you specify? I see actually why. I can see the connection, but I wanted to have some more insight, if possible. If you could say something more about that.
Yes, because in the Etruscan culture change also the concept of other life, change also the way to the relationship with the funerary context, because in a first time the Etruscan used the incineration, burn the body in a first time. In a second time, do the inhumation. So something changed. And there are a concept of another life and an hope to have something in the other life, like something of joy, probably. And so these eggs is something that's return, probably. We don't know if there are the idea that the soul can return back. Probably yes, because the aspect of the door and the aspect of the devil is also this one, to close the door, to don't pass the soul and return back in the present. So there are this idea that the soul cannot return back.
In Christian religion, particularly the Oriental one, eggs are used for Easter with similar symbolism. I don't know if any in other spiritualities if they are also used. Je disais que les œufs, comme symbole de la résurrection ou renaissance, sont des symboles aux églises chrétiennes, surtout orientales. Je me demandais si d'autres spiritualités les utilisent aussi. C'est l'œuf ou surtout la graine.
Les Étrusques, nous avons les eggs. Je ne sais pas si notre culture, mais je pense que oui, notre culture, nous trouvons les eggs.
I know that in Pesach, so Passover, which is also Eastern in Judaism, one of the dishes that are consumed during the first Seder, the first night, actually there is a boiled egg. Because Pesach is le passage, is the crossroad of something, but I'm not sure if it's in the same way, because it's interesting that it's also for Easter. I'm not sure if it's from the same reason, if it actually symbolizes rebirth, or if it's more something connected to the last night in Egypt before exiting the slavery time. So I have to ask actually to my mom or somebody that maybe knows more. But there is the same symbology that comes back, this for sure.
Madame Beck, Mrs. Beck, please.
I was just wondering if you connect with the group of scholars that are trying to trace back to goddess, the 30,000 years when the goddesses were honored. I mean, it was a goddess-centered culture, and spirit, there was no gap between nature and spirit at all. It's like the goddess is right in front of your face, you know? And I know a woman who studied Crete, the culture of Crete and the dances there. And those are just honoring the goddess. You know, you don't worship because she's right there, right? So it's just a matter of recognizing, like recognizing, getting rid of all the ways we split ourselves off from nature and the goddess. And definitely the dance, right? And a lot of these pictures reminded me of in Crete, you know, about the site in Crete, the Minoan. So I was just wondering if you've ever gone to that. I think we're trying to find our way back to the goddess before we destroy, you know, life on Earth. So that's kind of my question, if you've connected to some branch there.
Yeah, there are this connection with many other culture. We can find the element in other culture, like the Mignon, especially for the position of the worshipper. And so it is probably this is the question, the problem of the gestures, that is the only language for the man. The body is one, and so it's a universal language, the body language. And is similar in many different cultures, because some expression, for example, for sad, is the same in all the world.
Okay.
And probably return also for this aspect. For this reason, the dance is a universal language,
Yes.
very important. And the first language probably for the man, because it is the language with the body, the first element, instrument that the man have to speak, to express herself.
Yeah, good. Great.
No, I agree. It's the idea of the general dance, but the artistic dance always is with intention.
Yeah, the difference between an artistic dance or a ritual dance, there are many different, the different way to speak, to express something. It exists also the dance only to express a joy. In the banquet, I dance only to express my joy, to also for the trance, to don't have a problem with the present. And so we have dance for every moment of life. So we have different kind of dance and different way to speak, probably. So
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming back to the point concerning the eggs, Mrs. Namir reminds us of the basic legends of cosmogonies, which concern that everything started by a cosmic egg. Et juste, j'ai vu dans le chat qui est Madame Namire Luca, et elle nous rappelle aussi que l'œuf peut être considéré aussi dans beaucoup de cultures comme le début, c'est l'œuf cosmique, d'où sort l'existence. Je ne sais pas si vous voulez parler, Namire, là-dessus. I don't want if Namiri, you want to say something more about this.
Hello. About many culture from this legend, the universe, they are born from a big cosmic egg. And maybe this was generated by a snake that moved in the air with the wind and generated the cosmic egg, and from this egg born the universe and the earth. And this is a legend that is has a relationship with Eastern world, Oriental world, but Mediterranean area too. So it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Grazie Elisa.
Grazie.
Grazie. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions ou d'autres idées? Maybe Elisa, you can conclude.
Oui, alors je remercie toutes vous. C'est un plaisir partager les idées, toutes les questions. Et j'espère de faire autre conversation avec vous aussi sur la question de les reenactment ou sur la question des patrimoines culturels immatériels, que c'est très important. Toutes ces choses sont liées. Et c'est très important aussi avoir le point de vue de la danseuse en cette question, parce que je peux expérimenter dans ma corps tous les danses, toutes les choses et comprendre in une autre modalité la danse. So many thanks to everybody, and I hope to share everything and share also other arguments like the reenactment and the problem of the dance and other questions, and other have the contact with everybody to share the idea, if possible, a mailing list, if possible to do something. I'm very glad to have the contact with the other speaker.
Ça, c'est une bonne question. En général, je ne l'ai pas fait, mais tout le monde qui veut mettre son email, il est bienvenu pour le faire sur le chat. Et Elisa, pour les gens qui ont participé aujourd'hui, je vous enverrai leurs noms et les emails. Comme ça, c'est une chose. Parce que j'ai les emails de presque tous.
Merci.
Je vois trois concours de chat.
Oui, je vois. Yeah, many thanks to the CAD, and many thanks Constantine pour organiser.
Grazie mille. Je rappelle que le prochain séminaire, c'est le 18 mai. Et ensuite, il y aura un où on va retourner en Italie pour suivre une coutume à l'honneur de la Vierge dans la région napolitaine. I just remind that the next seminar is about the references of dance in the Bible. It will be held on May 18, and the next one would be about custom, a kind of ritual which exists now in Napoli of Italy and is in honor of Virgin Mary. Perhaps Mrs. Daniker will present us a seminar next period. And the subject is very, very fascinating. It will be about the spirituality which exists in many of the great ballads, Occidental ballads. We'll, as soon as we planify it, we'll keep you in mind. Thanks to everybody. And particularly to Elisa Anzellotti, we came to a civilization which was not so known. So it's a kind of introductory seminar. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you
Bye.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, thank you.